Hi guys, it's Olivia here from Olivia's Catastrophe, and today I have one huge book haul for you. I've got 20 books to show you, quite a lot because excluding my recent surprise unboxing book haul, I haven't shown you books that I've bought or received since before Christmas, which means I have so many, so let's just get right down to it. I hope you can bear with me on this one. So the first book I have to show you is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. Now this is a book that I've been waiting for so long. I love the video of her opening her first art copy on Twitter, and this one is set in a different fantasy world where this teenager has grown up with his mom doing magic and casting magic because she's a reaper. But what happens is one day all the magic disappears and this king installs himself as king of this land, even though he isn't, and orders for all the magi to be killed. Doesn't that sound a bit like colonization, but then in a fantasy kind of way? It's about the pressing of people and these people rising up against it to claim back what is theirs. The cover is so beautiful, the author seems so lovely, and this was a gift from my older sister as a late birthday present, even though my birthday was in January. So thank you to my sister, I cannot wait to read this one. Then the next book I have to show you is Illuminate by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. This was a book that I've just heard so much about, but I insisted to myself I wouldn't buy it until I had a hardcover copy. Hardcover copy, here it is. So this one is about two mega corporations who are fighting over a planet that they want to have, which is like a little speck at the edge of the universe. But it's too bad that the people who live on that planet, the inhabitants, don't know about these two mega corporations fighting over them. There's also two main characters who don't get along, but they both end up having to escape onto this pod ship together, and they're being chased by enemies. That's basically the premise that I know so far, but it sounds so good and I've just heard so many positive things about this trilogy that I cannot wait to read it. Then the next book I have to show you is The Dream Thieves by Maggie Stiefvater. If you've been following my channel, you'll know in my recent wrap-up that I've said that I've read The Raven Boys and absolutely loved it. So of course, 2 days after finishing The Raven Boys, I went to my Waterstones bookstore and I bought the sequel. I'm actually almost halfway through this one. I've been buddy reading it with a friend on Instagram. So yes, I'll definitely be reading this one. Well, I am reading this one. I'll definitely be finishing this one very soon. Then another book I bought for myself was Made You Up by Francesca Zappia. This is a book that I have already read when it first came out in 2015. It's about a girl who has paranoia and schizophrenia, and it's basically her story. It's basically her trying to live her life and get through classes so that she can make it to college. And even though she's been so used to the paranoia and the schizophrenia, she was not prepared for normal life. So that's what this one is about. I wrote a review for it on my blog 3 years ago now, so you can check that out down below. And yes, I've just wanted a hardcover copy of this because the cover was so beautiful and I loved it so much, so now I finally own it. This was a little gift to myself as my finance managing was going well. The next book I bought was another hardcover of It's Not Me, It's You by Mahari McFarlane. Mahari McFarlane is an author who I've just loved for so long. She does British pop culture so well in her novels and so much humour. This one is about an adult who goes through a breakup, and it's not her fault, it's actually his fault why they're breaking up. I think he has an affair and it's her trying to deal with it. She also deals with it in a comic book writing form, so she writes comic books and she has an alter ego in there who is kind of a superhero, and it's basically about her going through her adult life, her breakup, getting a new job, moving out, all that jazz. I've already read this one and I've got a review for it on my blog, again down below, but I was in Poundland and I saw this was on sale and it actually just cost me £1 for this lovely hardcover with a golden spine, so I had to get it. Then the next book I got was On Beauty by Zadie Smith. I've never read anything by Zadie Smith, but I saw this one at a secondhand bookstore and it only cost me £1 again for this hardcover, so I had to get it. On Beauty is about this guy, Englishman, called Howard, who is married to an African-American woman called Kiki, and he was married young, he's 30 now, and he's struggling to revive his love for his wife. He has 3 children, and he goes abroad to teach for a bit. has an affair, and then his eldest son comes and joins him and defies everything the family stands for while he's there. That's all I really know so far, and I don't want to go into this one knowing too much because I've just heard so much about Zadie Smith's writing as well. I don't want to hype this one up too much for myself, and I'm looking forward to finally trying a Zadie Smith novel and getting to know a bit more about my own opinions on her work. Angus Thongs and Full Frontal Snogging by Louise Renison. This one is a kind of pre-teen kind of read. It's all about, you know, it's kind of ridiculous about secondary school and snogging, first kisses, how to things like that. It's kind of a ridiculous, funny little book. But I read this whole series when I was about 11 and I absolutely just enjoyed reading it. It was so humorous. So, because it was only 50p to get this, I just decided to get it for old time's sake and actually have it on my shelf. Then for my university course I had to get Hour of the Star by Clarice Lispector, which I didn't mind getting at all because I've heard so many great things about Clarice Lispector. She's a Brazilian writer and this is a translated work. I've already read it and I absolutely loved it. This was a favourite of mine. The writing style is absolutely beautiful and there's just so much meaning in this one that I could study it for ages and never get bored. It's about this young girl who is poor in the Brazilian slums and she's just trying to be happy. That's all the novel is about, her trying to be happy. And it's actually told from a narrative of a male, richer person who doesn't have any relation to this main character other than seeing her on the street. And you guys, it's so good. Then I was sent for a review Illegal by John Denny, and this one, I didn't realise it, is actually an autobiography, but it's almost like a fictional autobiography. That's how it reads. And it's about the author himself. He moves to Ecuador during the time when there's lots of political turmoil, a lot of revolutions happening, and it's about how he gets involved in this political turmoil and his trips from America to Ecuador to other places in South America. He becomes illegal, hence the title, because of what work he's doing, and it's basically something that I picked up because I have a best friend who's from Ecuador and she has been talking about the political situation in Ecuador, which is still unstable and still needs a lot of stability, and I wanted to learn more about it, so that's why I was very happy to pick up this one. Two books for my course. I got Pale Horse, Pale Rider by Catherine Ann Porter. This is a short story collection and I've already read it and it's my absolute tip-top favourite short story collection ever now. I think Catherine Ann Porter's writing style is absolutely beautiful and she writes such good character-driven stories that open doors and opens my mind to things about personality, to character, to how we treat people and whether it's right or not some of the choices we make in life. Another one that I got for my course was A Question of Power by Bessie Head, and this one is a kind of fictional autobiography again, but it's not actually non-fiction. It's actually fiction, but you can tell it really relates to the author's life. It's about a South African who moves to another country in Africa and she's got mental health illness and she's also got her son who she's trying to take care of, and it's about her immigrating into this different African country, and even though she is African she still has a lot of difficulties with this trying to fit in, trying to become one with the people but also not wanting to become one because she doesn't want to lose her identity, and at the same time she's got the visions that she's seeing in the back of her mind all the time, and it makes for such a chaotic but thought-provoking story, and the end left me so happy and hopeful and just everything came together so well. The one I got for my course, these course books that I all got them as Christmas presents because my parents are a fan of giving me handy but necessary Christmas presents. So this is The Home in the World by Rabindranath Tagore. I believe I'm saying that correct, I hope so. This one's about the nationalist movement in India. I didn't know anything about this, and I didn't know about the two sides to the revolution and how it really separated people within homes who had different opinions, and this one just does such a good job of fictionalising a story that's set entirely within one house, but it's to do with the whole nationalist movement going on around them in their world and how it has to do with colonisation, the British colonising India, and people wanting to break away from those ties, and I thought it was really, really thought-provoking and I loved getting to know more about Indian history. We're still on books for my course. We have Where Europe Begins by Yoko Tawada. I read this one absolutely wrong. I thought it was a novel, but it's actually a short story collection and it's a very surreal kind of read, and the themes are language, body, feminism, immigration, And that's all I can really tell you about this one. It's very surreal, which made it hard for me, but I still appreciated it. The next book was gifted to me by Stephanie from Litflits. I'll link her blog down below. And this one was A Small Place by Jamaica Kincaid. What happened was I read her review for this book on her blog, and she tweeted to me and she was like, you know what, I don't mind passing my copy on to you if you'd like to read it. So I have read it. I read it in one sitting. It's like a long essay about Antigua, where Jamaica is from, and the effects of post-colonialism in the country and how it's still affecting it, and how the colonizer hasn't done the country justice in the way it's left it, and the resources it's left the people with to try and come through to repair their country, repair the damage that's been done. And it was just very thought-provoking and open-minded, and really opened my mind to the issues of post-colonialism and how they are still present today, even if we're not hearing about them in a lot of countries. Another book for my course, Flash Fiction Forward, edited by James Thomas and Robert Shepard. I'm reading this one, but I haven't read all of them. We're doing a module in my creative writing on writing flash fiction stories, so this is just a collection of different flash fiction. Then I was also sent Looking for Day by David A. Wilson for review, and this one is an advanced reader copy. And what happens in this one is there's a main character who comes from this really poor village, and her life has been shrouded in secrets. There's a lot that she doesn't know about herself, and her adoptive father refuses to tell her about her origins at all. But soon she's going to be going to a ceremony where she gets tested to see if you are gifted, and no one in her village has been gifted for a very, very long time. But she just happens to be. She uncovers the reason why she is, and that just leads her on a mission where she has to use her powers for good, and she has to make a lot of choices, and her whole adventure unravels. Sounds pretty interesting to me, and I love a good fantasy read. And I was also given for review The Alaskan Chronicles by John Hunt. This one is set in the year 2020, where President Trump has just announced that a huge solar storm is going to hit America, and the main character's parents decide to leave the city and try and survive in Alaskan wilderness where it should be safer. But the main character is a teenager who's never had to do without things like Wi-Fi, and definitely not surviving in the wilderness. So it's about how he survives, and also how America deals with living in the wilderness and surviving this new storm. I don't think I would survive, but we'll see how it goes with the main character in this book. I was gifted a copy of Becoming Lily by Julia Blake by an author who I'm friends with on Instagram. This is not her book, she gifted me her friend's book, and this one is about a girl who has always been an ugly duckling. She doesn't know what it means to be beautiful until one day she happens across a person who promises that she can have it all as long as she takes this opportunity fully by the hands. So then Lily has the opportunity of living her life to the dream with best friends, beautiful, everything that she could ever desire, except for one thing that she really, really wants. And it's about how that one thing is what she really needs. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but she has to struggle to try and achieve it. I never heard of this book before. It was gifted to me for Christmas by this author, so thank you so much to Charmin Badgett Young. I'll leave a link to Instagram below, and I'm looking forward to reading this one. Hey guys, you've made it through. This is the last book. The last book I have to show you is 101 Ways to Make Poems Sell by Chris Hamilton Emery. Now this is a book that I bought for secondhand on Amazon. It actually only cost me £5 in total, which is why it's so beat up and everything. Honestly, I don't mind. And I've almost finished writing my poetry collection, and I want to get serious about getting it published and sharing it with people, so I decided to buy this kind of textbook that everybody really recommended online. And it's always a bit nerve-wracking when you invest in something like this, because you're like, oh, will it be useful, will it be useless? But this was only £5, and it's basically everything I would ever need to know about making my poems sell. So I think it was a very good investment, and I actually highly recommend it. I'm still reading it, but just from the wisdom I've gained from the first couple of pages, I couldn't recommend it anymore for anyone who wants to be very serious about poetry. You guys, that is it. 20 books that I've just hauled in. I've actually got some more books to show you, but I'm going to save it for another haul because this haul has already been huge. Thank you so much if you've made it through the video this much. Leave a comment down below of what's the latest book you bought, received, acquired. I would love to know. And yeah, that's all I've really got for this haul. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, hit that subscribe button if you want to see more, and don't forget, hit that notification bell if you want to be updated every time I have a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye!